Hi, this is Kaya Michelle, and how are you doing? I was talking to one of my siblings, my oldest brother, and we were talking about the avoidance of pain, how so many people in our society avoids pain. And I told him, there's something very unique about pain. Pain first gives you the evidence that something is going on. Something, you could afford fell down and you feel the pain and you done broke your arm, your foot, a bone, and everything. That pain lets you know. Then you get a pain in the side. If you're having a heart attack, that's pain in the heart. It lets you know that there has been some damage there. And then we have the other type of pain. And that pain comes after they have set the bone, put the cast on, or went in there and did repairs of the heart, that there's a good pain. And that pain is evident of the healing taking place. And so many people avoid pain, so they never go through the process of allowing themselves to heal because they're avoiding the pain of healing. And when you go on this journey, this self journey of healing yourself, I'm here to tell you, you're going to go through some pain because you have to heal the initial pain. And then as you're going through the process of healing, the pain will show up. But that's the evidence of the healing taking place. So don't void the pain. You don't need no pill. You don't need no alcohol. You don't need sex. You don't need anything that keeps you from the pain of healing. I always tell some of my clients that one of the best things that you can do, especially when it comes to parent and child relationship, and there was some pain and some damage did to you when you were growing up in that area, is number one, recognize the pain and how that pain is controlling your life. Then number two, you're going to go on a healing journey. And I want you're going to remove the guilt and the shame. Then you're going to have an honest conversation, if you can. Because sometimes there's the blame that we get caught up in, and the blame and the shame and the guilt and gets caught up in. And as a child, we're looking at things one way, and then as an adult, we're looking at the thing another way. But you gotta come, and if you're mad and angry at your mother, and I see a lot of people that go on Instagram, TikTok, and stuff, and be blaming their mothers for, and I'm not saying all mothers are good mothers, but all mothers are human beings. And even with the fathers, I always ask them, have you talked to your mother? Do you know anything about how your parents grew up? I am the daughter of two motherless parents. My mother died when she was 6 months old. My mom's mother was killed when she was 8. My mom didn't grow up knowing her father until later on in life. My dad, the same way. So my parents came from a different whole foundation. And by the time I got into the earth realm, I had no grandparents. So being a grandmother is very, very important to me, to have those relationships with my grandchildren. So from that perspective, me as a child, I didn't understand some of the things that happened in our lives. But then some clicked in me, And I just started having the conversations with my parents. I wanted to see them as human beings and not just my parents. Because I thought my daddy was Superman at one point in time when I was a kid. He was just a bad dude. He was a man's man. So I liked that about him. And if you had a problem, my daddy was going to solve it. And he was respected. He was a man of respectability, but he was still a man. That's all I'm gonna say. And so therefore, I started having these conversations with my parents. And the first one I asked, how did my parents meet? What attracted y'all to each other? But then I individually had conversations with my parents to find out what happened to them in their childhood. And my parents came up lack of love, lack of affirmation and affirming and everything. And it was very hard for them, both of them. My mother's as smart as a whip. She's still 80-something. She got faculties of her mind and everything. My dad has went on. It's been 20 years that my dad has not been on this earthly realm, but I believe that once you leave up out of this body, then you take on a whole nother life in the spirit. So I would just suggest that don't avoid the pain. Yes, on the journey of healing, it is going to be painful moments. There's going to be tears. You're going to have to deal with the negativity, but don't avoid the healing journey because you're so afraid of the pain. And a lot of times we're really grieving. We're grieving the lost time of the relationship. We're grieving because there's pieces of our childhood that we may be grieving over and through and everything. But don't avoid the pain because that's part of the healing journey. And you don't have to announce it to anybody or everybody. That's between you and your Creator. And find that refuge in the healing journey because it's worth it. It is so worth it. Come June, I will be celebrating my 8th year of being cancer-free from thyroid cancer. And I had to go on a healing journey. The day they gave me that diagnosis, something just hit me. And I told God, I'm not going to ask you to heal me because you promised me that. But what I did ask Him to give me grace to go through this. And then He hit me with a job that I had to do. He told me I had to go clean out my emotional garbage can. Man, that was hard to get my emotions in check because I grew up and I was either quiet and cool or I'm exploding like a volcano, but I done let everything. And man, that was, oh my God, I just decided, okay, I gotta clean it. I'm gonna clean it out. And once I started cleaning out, by the time it was time to go have surgery, and I elected to get my whole thyroid removed, and now I'm living every day, got to take that pill, which wreaks havoc in my life. That's a whole nother journey that I'm on now. But if I had avoided the pain of that diagnosis, I don't know if I'd be here. I really don't know that I would have been here because I couldn't claim the victory without going through that. And I cleaned up my emotional garbage can. And I found some things in there that I didn't like. And I said, oh my God, you was a hot mess. But I was willing to do it. Hey, I looked at some things and said, ooh, girl, why you do that? That was that shame. That was that blame. That was the guilt. But I moved on through that. And I'm just telling you this as a word of encouragement to don't avoid the pain. It is worth it. And if somebody did you wrong and they're no longer on this planet, still go through the pain so you can heal from whatever it is, so you can be made whole. It is just like in the Bible, there was a man and he was laying at the pool and Jesus came upon him and he said, will thou be made whole? And I thought about that. I've heard this. And I said, oh my God, you got a choice. You got a choice. Will thou be made whole? You can choose your healing at any time. You could be made whole at any time. But you got to be willing. You got to be willing. And then there's a woman. And she had suffered for 12 years. And it talks about she went here and she went there. And she paid out money. And now she ain't got no money. She can't go nowhere. She's ailing. She's sick. But she heard that there was a man. And she said within herself, if I touch the hem of his garment, I should be made whole. I'm telling you, it's worth it to be made whole. It is worth it to be healed. Don't avoid the pain. You know, it's all that hidden stuff in that garbage can that we keep the lid on and we keep it pushed in the closet so don't nobody see it, but it's there. I had no plans on filming this, but I guess it had to come out. And I'm just giving you a word of encouragement. You can be made whole. Will thou be made whole? Don't avoid the pain. Go through it. Go on your healing journey. And when you go on a journey, you know, I learned this when I was in the military, in the Army. I learned how to rappel off a mountain, but first you gotta climb the mountain. And they told us put all this stuff in our pack, right? 25-pound pack, all this stuff. And as we were climbing up, and I'm gonna tell you something, you can never climb a mountain up on the smooth side. It's always on the rough side. That's how you get up the mountain. And each level that we went, we would have to drop something, keep getting the load a little bit lighter. In order to get to the top, in order to get to the healing, you got to let go of them things that have been weighing you down, that have prevented you from being the whole you that you're supposed to be. And I always remember that any part of my life, I remember that at every stage in my life, I had to let go of some old things that was weighing me down in order for me to go to the next level. And I didn't realize that that was my healing journey. Cancer was another level for me to be healed, but this time it was in my body. But my body housed my spirit. So not only was my body being healed, my spirit was being healed too. Because my spirit had got damaged. Because what caused, I'm going to just say this. I'm not a smoker. I wasn't an alcoholic. And those are normally the things, and I didn't work in a nuclear plant. Those are the three things that most likely you're getting exposed to some type of radiation that causes you to get thyroid cancer. But I internalized it and said, nope, that was all the many years of people pushing and suppressing my voice. So I talk now, I speak up now, and I believe that will thou be made whole? Don't avoid the pain. On this healing journey, there will be pain. Like I said, if you break a bone, if you cut a finger, there's initial pain to say you're injured, you're damaged. But then there's another pain that comes to say, hey, that's the evidence of healing. So I'm going to say, will thou be made whole? And on the other side note, have a blessed one.